So, well, now I'm addict, working for the company, and now I've run out of I've run out of money. 13,000 I've gone through within a couple of days. So I remember I had to obviously feed my addiction, and the only way I could do that was by asking people for money at the company. Eventually people started, I could see in their faces that they could see something was up. So I changed my hustle a bit, and I started doing a 5-finger discount. I started taking things at the company. So it started with small things. I started stealing small things like the silicone, and from the silicone I started stealing the grinding disc and cutting discs, and even to the extension cord adapters. Once I got buyers from it, and it felt like when you go gambling and you win a lot of money, that feeling of surprise when someone buys something from you and you're not expecting so much. So once somebody actually gave me a lot of money for the grinding discs and the silicone and that, it became almost like an addiction itself. So I started stealing more and more and more. Eventually, obviously, people started picking up on it. They checked on the cameras, and they caught me. At the time, my brother broke my nose and he broke my ribs because I also stole the next door neighbor's cell phone, and he was in his 70s. So that wasn't something I'm very proud of, and neither was my brother. So, broken nose, 2 broken ribs, and I got fired. The place that I was, and now this happened at the end of the month, so I got kicked out of the caravan park where I was staying, and I went straight from the caravan park into a bush with all my belongings, and I hid my belongings in the bush, and somebody found it. I remember coming back trying to change my clothes or trying to put on my other shoes. Everything was gone. So I had only 1 set of clothing at the time. I had no money. I have no family. I got nobody to consent. What's the word I'm looking for when you confide? I had no one to confide any feelings to. So I needed to get advice. I had no one. So the first ideas that popped into my head normally was the first thing I did, which was stealing. Now, I didn't know how to hustle at a robot even. I didn't know how to even beg people. I would get so nervous that as soon as I get up to the person, I do a 90-degree turn away from the guy. So now I'm starting to roster, which means that I'm starting to withdraw from the drugs. The more I'm withdrawing, the sicker I'm getting. And the more sick you get to a point where you actually feel like you are dying from this drug. So desperation kicks in. And now you're going to a pep. For me, it started at a pep store. It was the easiest thing. So I started stealing little baby shoes. So what I would do is I'll walk in with a brown paper bag with a rock in it to make it look like there was something in it. And I would literally do 5-finger shopping. I would take the shoes, or 2 pairs of shoes, and packets of underwears. And normally with a packet of 5. I would put it inside the bag and just walk out the store like it was natural. And no one caught me in the beginning. So the more I'm not getting caught, the more addicted I'm getting to now stealing. Because as I said, when you sell it, someone gives you a lot of money. You're not only getting your drug, but you're also getting a rush from the stealing. So, excuse me, you end up getting almost addicted to 2 things. And then one day came where I was stealing from the same shop a little bit too often. And they caught me. I was trying to steal 2 padlocks. So I started, I didn't want to get arrested. Jail's the last place that I want to go to, especially for a person like me. I started throwing my toys at the cot. I started crying. I started begging the person. I even went as far as going on my hands and knees. And the lady gave me a second chance. She told me to hold the padlocks up next to my face. So I did. I was holding it like that. And she took a photo of me. And that was the last time I ever went into that shop. And I tried to stay away from the stealing, because the old man that I stole the phone from, my brother was so upset with that he broke my ribs, he broke my nose. Look, my brother's not like me. He weighs 120 kilos, so I was literally beaten across the room. It wasn't the beating that got to me. It was the words that he said to me. And he said to me that old man is in his 70s. You didn't care about his feelings. You only cared about yourself. And that is exactly what drug addicts do. We only care about ourselves. We are selfish, even though we're not meaning to be, but we are. We will do anything and say anything for the next fix. So I tried not stealing after that. So my hustle had to change. I started going up to people, asking them for money. And when people wouldn't help me, like I said, the withdrawals would kick in. I'll literally go into the shop and I'll ask people to buy me groceries. When I ask people to buy me groceries, because I'm not getting help from people by the robots, the desperation comes in. The food and the help that they actually give me, I actually end up selling. And that is something I'm not proud of at all. But the way I was thinking of it at that time is, I don't want to steal. I don't break into people's houses. I don't rob people. So to me, I was trying to, convince myself that even though I'm taking advantage of someone's feelings, it was better than stealing. But at the end of the day, people catch on to all of these things that you do. And it starts building up, and the guilt starts building up. People start getting to know you. People start talking about you. And eventually nobody wants to help you anymore. So obviously every time this happens, I have to change my hustle. So from asking people inside the shop to begging at the robots. And when begging at the robots, it's not the safest of things, as people would imagine. I've been knocked over by a car 3 or 4 times. All of them was hit and runs. Taxi drivers try and literally drive me over because they call me a para. People always have comments, especially white people, saying that I bring white people down and I'm a disgrace to our race, which is wrong, because we should not see any color. We're from the same God. And as I say, when things like this happens and people get used to you now by the robots, again I have to change my hustle. So I tried scrap metal. So from picking up aluminium cans every day in the dustbins and trying to find metal or copper, and at the same time you're not trying to do anything illegal, it's almost impossible to survive like this. So again, desperation sets in, the withdrawal starts settling in, and you start doing illegal things. So copper, you see a municipality copper cable, you know a place that buys this stuff, you end up taking it. So like I say, we will do anything for our next fix. And obviously as time goes by, again people start getting used to you. Now people get, as the people that I hang around with, they say people get a jealousy on you, and they start phoning the police or the security companies, And eventually now people are looking at you like you're a thief that goes around stealing copper cables and pipes and so on and so forth.